Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is 7:32 p.m. Wednesday, October 18th. Call the meeting to order.
Councilwoman Selby,
Present.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Present.
Supervisor Keating,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacic,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin,
Present.
Councilwoman Selby, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, for everyone in the audience tonight, we do have two public hearings. I'm going to jump on a couple of things and we'll move right to the public hearings. It'll be at 7:35. We do not have any other preliminary matters, but Father, would you like to give a benediction tonight?
Lord God Almighty, this evening we pray for all the local governments, especially those communities that have been ravaged by destruction, fire and flood, natural disaster. For those of human we pray for all the people who really find peace. We pray for our community and for our own leaders. Let us remember.
Yeah, amen. All right. So we'll move into regular business. We'll catch one item there. The first item under our regular business tonight is a correction and adoption of the minutes from the October 4th, 2023 board meeting. And Councilwoman Lukacic, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have reviewed the October 4th meeting minutes, and I make a motion that we approve October 4th's regular board meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacic,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Abstain.
Thank you, and motion carried.
All right. Again, we have two public hearings tonight. It's now 7:35, so we'll move into our first public hearing. So we're going to jump down to our new business tonight. So the first public hearing is item 2 under our new business, which is for the 2024 tentative budget. And the public hearing reads as follows. Notice is hereby given that the tentative budget of the town of Boston for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2024 has been completed and filed in the office of the town clerk, where it is available for inspection by any interested person during regular office hours. Further notice is hereby given that the Boston Town Board will hold a public hearing and review for said tentative budget at the Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Prevailing Time on October 18th, 2023. And at any such hearing, any person may be heard for or against the tentative budget as compiled on items contained therein. Pursuant to Section 103 of Town Law, the proposed salaries of the following elected town officers are Supervisor, $45,177, Town Clerk, $55,304, 4 council members at $9,555, Superintendent of Highways at $79,093, 2 town justices at $22,129, and an exemption report is available. This was dated on September 29th, 2023, published October 6th, 2023, which is by the order of the town board, Sandra L. Quinlan, town clerk. And we are an institution of an equal opportunity provider and employer. So I will open the floor for any public comment. If there are any comments, please come up to the name, state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes. Oh, actually, it's a public hearing, so just state your name and address. The floor is open. I would say there's no comments, so I will close the floor on the public hearing. Second public hearing tonight is item number 3 under our new business, which is for the Federal Community Development Block Grant. I'll also take that item. And the public hearing reads as follows. A public hearing will be held on October 18th, 2023 at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Prevailing Time at Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, Boston, New York, regarding the use of federal community development funds in the town of Boston. the town of Boston is eligible for a federal community development grant under Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended. The purpose in the hearing is to provide an opportunity for citizens to express community development and housing needs and to discuss possible projects which would benefit low and moderate income persons in the town of Boston. Citizens are urged to attend this meeting to make their views known and or written proposals to the town of Boston's selection of potential projects to be submitted for possible funding by federal community development program. The hearing will also present a review of prior community development projects and expenditures and a discussion of eligible activities. This was dated October 4th, 2023, published October 6th, 2023, by order of the town board, Sandra L. Quinlan, town clerks, my apologies, an equal opportunity provider and employer. The floor is open. Like the last public hearing, if there are any comments from the public, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address. The floor is open. There's got to be one idea. With no comments, the floor is closed. All right. So folks, we're going to jump back up to item 2 under our agenda, which is regular business. And item 2 for the regular business is consideration of all of our fund bills. And Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. After reviewing the fund bills, I'd like to make a motion for payment in the amount of $368,316.82.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Karakini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacic,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Moving along, item 3 is our correspondence tonight. There are 6 pieces of correspondence, all of which have been received and filed in the town clerk's office. The first item is the dog control officer's report for September 2023. Item 2 is the town clerk's report for September 2023. Item 3 is a September 2023 income statement to the town board. Item number 4 is a September 2023 cash balances. Item 5 is a Boston Volunteer Fire Company Junior Firefighter Program Guideline Handbook. And item 6 is a Boston Firefighter Company Bylaws and Constitution, which was updated October 4th, 2023. Again, all those items were part of the board packet, which is available online and received and filed in the town clerk's office. Moving on to new business, item 1 is requests from the floor or any public comment. So the floor is open. If there are any comments regarding the town, please come up to the microphone, state your name, address, and you have 3 minutes each.
Good evening. Jay Jackson, 7964 Back Creek Road. We have been blessed with a handful of people that are interested in working on the manger scene that was dumped on the town. So far, progress has been, we met yesterday, and as of today, there is a cover on the manger scene to help prevent the rot that's going to be caused by rain as it leaks through the leaky roof onto the floor. I'm not sure what else will happen, but I'll try and keep you posted. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, with no other further comments, the floor is closed. Again, we've already handled items number 2 and 3. Both were the public hearings. So moving along, item number 4 is resolution 2023-78 for the Erie County 2024 through 2025 Community Development Block Grant Request. I'll take this item tonight. So folks, basically what we have is that, I'll read, it's a relatively short resolution on this one, but the town of Boston seeks to participate in the 2024-2025 Erie County Community Development Block Grant Program. And whereas the town of Boston held a public hearing for comments on the proposed projects for the 2024 and 2025 CDBG funding cycle, and again, CDBG is Community Development Block Grant, on October 18th, 2023, tonight. Whereas a few of the projects were brought up and the town board has agreed to submit 1 grant application for the 2024-2025 funding cycle, and the town would provide no less than 5% matching funds for the first priority project. And now therefore be resolved that the Boston Town Board submits the following projects to be considered for funding by Erie County Community Development Block Grant during the 2024 and 2025 grant cycle. And the first priority, because the town board we did have some discussion downstairs this evening, and there again with the public hearing there were no comments, so we're not going to apply for an application this year because we were successfully awarded two prior. So rural transit is always, if you've kind of followed this along, rural transit always is part of that program to receive federal funds, and so that's our first priority. And be it further resolved that the Boston Town Board authorizes the town supervisor to sign, submit, and execute a contract with Erie County Community Development Block Grant program for the cited project upon approval for the CDBG application, and the resolution will take effect immediately. And this was dated October 18th. And put a motion on the floor to approve the resolution.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And talk about, yeah, I'll bring it up later, rural transit. Okay, items 5, 6, and 7 tonight are going to be handled by Councilwoman Lukacek. Item 5 is a resolution 2023-79 for seeker, and again, seeker is a state Environmental Quality Review Act. Negative declaration for mixed use development at 7072 Boston State Road. Item 6 is resolution 2023-80, which is a special use permit for a filling station located at 7072 Boston State Road. And item 7 is resolution 2023-81, which is a site plan approval for mixed use development at 7072 Boston State Road.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
If I may, the town board opened a public hearing on the application for a
Yes,
special
for
use
old
permit at its September 20th meeting. It continued that public hearing through its October 4 meeting, and the public hearing remains open as of today. So prior to the board's consideration of the 3 resolutions that the supervisor just referenced, it would be appropriate to conclude and close that public hearing.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. Yep, so that is under, folks, that is under our old business tonight. So I will open the floor is open for that the continuation of the open public hearing. Again, please state your name and address if there are any comments from the public.
And Mr. Supervisor, if I may also just state for the record that subsequent to the September 20th public hearing, comments were received from the New York State Department of Transportation dated October 4, 2023. Correspondence was received from Christopher Wood of Carmina Wood Design dated October 12, 2023, responding to questions and comments received during the public hearing. In addition, correspondence was received from Amy Dake, an engineer with Passero Associates, the traffic engineering firm that was retained by the applicant. That correspondence was dated October 12, 2023. It responded both to the October 4, 2023 comments from Department of Transportation, as well as a letter with comments from a traffic engineering firm, DiDonato Associates, that was dated September 15, 2023. And then one further item that arrived today was additional correspondence via email from Kevin Hebert of the New York State Department of Transportation. That email correspondence notes that the Department of Transportation is in general agreement with the proposed layout, and the response letter dated 8/12, he appears to be referencing the 10/12 letter from engineer Dake.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
that said, I just wanted to note those items of correspondence for the record.
Thank you. The floor is open.
Mitch Tucker, Chair of the Conservation Advisory Council here at Town of Boston, 8500 Boston State Road. I received communication from the neighboring property expressing some concerns. I was able to stop by and just give it kind of a one-over. And there wasn't anything, especially referencing all of the concerns that have already been addressed. I didn't find anything additional that seemed to be concerning with the project. I'm happy to recommend any landowner in the area, partnering organizations and groups that can help improve natural habitat for pollinators and other animals or plants if they want any improved environmental things on their own properties.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with no comments, under old business, the public hearing has been closed. Councilwoman Lukacek.
All right, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We will start with resolution number 2023-79. It's the seeker negative declaration for the mixed-use development at 7072 Boston State Road. This is a lengthy resolution that incorporates all the information that has been dated since, I believe, August 9th, 2023. And on page 5 of 6, whereas having taken a hard look at the identified potential environmental impacts of the project, the town board concludes that the proposed mixed-use development will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. I make a motion that we approve the seeker negative declaration.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next resolution is 2023-80. It's the special use permit for the filling station at 7072 Boston State Road. Since the board has received the negative declaration and the seeker report, and the proposed filling station is in harmony with the uses provided for in the zoning district, which are present in the neighborhood and conforms to the applicable requirements for such use under section 123-119 of the town code. I make a motion that we approve the special use permit for the filling station.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The last resolution relating to the 77-2 mixed-use development, Boston State Road, the site plan approval. The planning board's findings from September 12th, 2023 are incorporated from the September 5th meeting. They had a unanimous vote adopting the resolution, making and issuing findings with respect to the site plan and recommending that the town board act favorably on the application, which leads us to me making a recommendation to approve 2023-81 for the site plan approval.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes,
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Item 8 under our new business tonight is Resolution 2023-82 for engineering services for the Town Hall entry improvements. And Councilman Cardicchini, would you like to take that item tonight?
I'd be happy to. So I'd like to propose resolution number 2023-82, which is engineering services for the town hall entry improvements. Town of Boston is fortunate to have a functional and beautifully located town hall that serves as an important center for the community, but it is aging and requires care and upkeep to maintain its good condition for future generations. And I believe I probably speak for all of us that we're maybe tired of being asked about the front steps of the town hall, which have deteriorated. So we have a proposal from CPL as the town engineers to perform the design, bidding, and construction administrative services required for the town hall entry improvement project for a fee not to exceed $17,000. So the resolution is on the table.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes,
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item 9 tonight is an application for use of facility for a Halloween trunk or treat. And actually, Councilman Cardicchini, would you like to take that item?
Sure. The town of Boston would like to hold a trunk or treat on Sunday, the 29th of October from 1 to 3 p.m. It is a public event. Setup for this will be at 12 noon. Takedown will be approximately at 3 p.m. The function is a Halloween trunk or treat. Anybody is welcome to attend. Bring whatever you'd like to do. If you'd like to decorate, something, pass out candy to the kids. Of course, I extend the invitation to all 3 of the fire companies in town. That was a great presence we had last year at that. The application is for the Lion Shelter with bathroom facilities and parking.
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Very excited.
That's like, yes. That's fine. Ready, set, go.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes. What's that game show where everybody has a little buzzers? Something like Jeopardy.
Councilwoman Lukacek? Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Gotta have fun. All right. Moving right along. Item 10 is a request from the Code Enforcement Officer, Thomas Murphy, to attend a Association of Towns 2023 Planning and Zoning School. And Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We have a letter dated October 12th from our Code Enforcement Officer, Thomas Murphy, who is requesting to go to the Association of Towns Planning and Zoning on Monday, October 30th. His total fees are not to exceed $331.40, which includes the cost of the school, one-night hotel, and round-trip mileage. I'd like to make a motion to approve this request.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby?
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini?
Yes.
Supervisor Keating?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek?
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. So we've already accomplished our old business. That was the public hearing for the special use permit for the filling station at 7072 Boston State Road. So moving right along, reports and presentations. Highway Superintendent, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. First, I'd like to say plow trucks, all the large trucks are pretty much set up for plowing. Salt barn is full. And it's that time again for leaves coming down. We've both the trucks and both machines went out a little bit this past week just to try them out, make sure everything was working good. Everything's fine. So, and anybody in town looking for leaves, please just give me a call and fill out a sheet, and we'd be glad to deliver them to you. And the excess leaves, I'll be glad to take one more year, but I'll only take the ones that aren't spoken for, which will be quite a few. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Sully, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'd like to thank Jay Jackson for spearheading the restoration of the manger scene. It was a great turnout, including Councilman Mike. Thanks for your help over there. I'd also like to give recognition to our budget and our budget director, Ellie. Fantastic job. I think it's great when you can keep the taxes in check and give, town hall employees their respectable wages. I would like to see a little more in contingency. Being a past bookkeeper for 15 years and in the finance area, we always are a little conservative and put little money away because of our situation with our fire company. And you just have to kind of save that money as much as you can instead of adding. I'm not a fan of adding staff where we might not need to, and just putting a little more money away. That would be my only thing about it. I still like the budget overall. I just want a little movement in some of the line items. So that's all I have for tonight.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
much. Yep. Councilman Cardicchini, you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. Well, you took my thank yous. Ellie did a wonderful job with the public. That the presentation is really, it's very concise and it's very organized, and you did a great job presenting it. So thanks for all the effort there. Jay, I really appreciate you taking on this manger project. I know, it's going to be fun, and I have faith that it's going to work out to be just okay. So have faith with, I know when you bring people together, sometimes there can be, spirit. But, let's not forget the spirit of why we want to do this and fix it up right. So thank you for that. The Halloween trunk or treat, we really did have a great event last year. I mean, we lined up the vehicles around the Lion Shelter, providing the ground is going to be firm enough to do that. Highway Superintendent Telak, maybe you bring some pumpkins down.
Definitely bring a load of pumpkins.
All right, cool.
Definitely.
So hope to see everybody out there, and I hope we have a good weather day. I mean, it's a couple weeks away. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Lukacek, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Wanted to say thank you to the Boston Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee. They have been meeting regularly with very good attendance. They did a driving tour this last meeting, and it involved some residents got curious. So I love hearing that. Getting more people involved is fantastic. So thank you to the membership for the steering committee for the comprehensive plan. If you're not familiar with it, please go on our website. There's a lot of information on there, including the survey. Have everyone in your family fill that out, including teenagers. We need their input as well. We want to keep them in our town. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Martin, you have the floor.
Well, a couple months back, I failed to mention that I've taken on the position of secretary for our Maplewood Cemetery across the street. And since cremation has become, it seems like it's the way of the future, we're trying to come up with more ways to serve the local community. So we're looking to put in either, probably a columbarium. I'll probably be reaching out to Mr. Murphy to see if there's any code directives for that and coming up with a couple designs. If anybody owns property at Maplewood, I'm going to probably do some type of presentation here at Town Hall, have some designs for people to vote on so we can put something in that's attractive and not overbearing for the neighboring houses that back up to the cemetery. So that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. Remember that we do have Election Day coming up, and that will include the early voting here at the Town Hall that will take place in the community room from October 28th, and that is a Saturday, through November 5th, which is a Sunday. Weekdays that will be open from noon to 9 and weekends 9 to 5. I wanted to thank Carl Simith for the tremendous Hess truck display that was in our display case for many months. It brought a lot of enjoyment to young and old alike that came in to see that. And right now, the Conservation Advisory Council has the photos in there from residents and local photographers. Amateur photographers. And so take a look at those photos. And that is all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Just a couple things tonight for myself. Couple updates on county projects because I've attended the meetings. So if you've been down Boston State Road, you'll probably see that hasn't been a lot of progress going on. At least that's the calls are coming into my office regarding the culvert replacement on Boston State Road. The reason that the project has slowed down is that they had to move a water line. There's some other problems that came up, so that's why there's been no staff. The project was slated to be accomplished by October 31st. That was the initial scoping plan. So allegedly they're still on schedule. Time will tell. We will see, but that is the update. So if this happens to get out to the public or anybody's watching from home, that's the status of that project. Back Creek Road, that I don't really know what kind of news to share here tonight. We're discussing this in the work session downstairs at the last construction meeting, how it, they're still scoping and trying to identify how the best fix the crack that happened. So the repair had been nearly completed, and then the whole area shelved. This will be part of the board packet. I did not get the information in time to get into this tonight's board packet, but you'll see a dark black squiggly line. I promise I'll bring it up at the next meeting. But anyone that's watching this, you'll see a black line across this, and that area kind of shelved a little bit. When I say a little bit, that little bit is in their terms 2 inches wide, roughly about a foot deep. So that's in my opinion, it's big, but the engineers don't seem to be too overly worried about it. But they do have geo cans on there. They're satellite GPS coordinated cans. They have not moved a lot. The data speaks for itself that it really has not moved a whole lot. So they're hoping that everything is sound and the integrity is there. Decision was going to be made between Union Concrete and Erie County as of last Friday. I have not received any updates on this, so I'm presuming that the updates will be provided at the next construction meeting that I think is next week. Off the top of my head, I think it's next Tuesday, and hopefully I'll be able to provide more information at the first meeting in November, the town board meeting in November. But that is being watched. If the crack is deemed to be something that they want to watch over the winter season, because let's face it, I'm not going to use the S word yet, but the white stuff's going to start flying. The colder temperatures are here. The plan is that Back Creek Road in that area will have kind of a base coat or a base binder put down, built up to the rain gutters and the infrastructure that's there. And then that will all be ripped out, but that'll get them through the winter season without putting a bunch of rocks in people's front yards when they're plowing down Back Creek Road. Also, hopefully it will help keep some of that all structurally sound over the winter months, frost-free cycles, et cetera. But again, the county's watching that. That's the update there. I know there's been a lot of attention. So as I've promised, and kudos to Jay Jackson. I know he does a great job working with Legislator Mills and getting updates from there. But anyway, that's Back Creek Road. There is, let's see what else we got here. Front steps, that was obviously a resolution tonight. Yes, that has taken a long time, and I will apologize publicly that it's taken a long time. We've had multiple contractors in. We've gotten an array of an opinion to the point where we truly needed to get an engineering opinion on what's the best path forward. There were a lot of repairs done historically. The repairs themselves had fractured and broken off. Obviously, the visual appeal is not where it needs to be for the community. So we're working with the engineer, because when you bring in the engineer, of course, you get a different set of eyes on the situation. The steps, the reason that we've seen for many years rust through there, the concrete is basically disintegrating is what's happening. The steps need to come out. So that will be part of this engineering study. So new steps, there'll be a platform that goes up, and then what was identified, and it's actually been this way quite some time, is that the two columns holding the front porch out in front of the town hall up, if you look at the base of them, the wood is all rotted and it's actually kind of crushing down, which means that front porch is pulling off the building. So that will also be part of the scope of the project. But at the end of the day, it'll be fixed. It'll be fixed right. There was a few options brought in front of the town board, and we're going to put basically a piered type system on the new concrete, and then wood above that. And that piered system will be roughly 12 to 14 inches high. And hopefully we don't have to talk about this for a long time, going forward. So that will be done. There was some discussion downstairs tonight. I'll bring it up here. No, we are not putting in a ramp. If I brought up numbers of what a ramp would, ADA accessible ramp would cost, people might fall out of their chairs. They're very expensive, but we are ADA compliant because we do have an elevator here. There is ADA compliance in the back door with the ADA buttons on the doors. That's how we get through with ADA compliance here in the town of Boston. So that's the front steps and porch. Community Development Block Grant. Right now, I don't know. I hope this doesn't go away. I feel awful even having to say this. In today's market, everything is going up, salaries and everything else. The census tract that CDBG or Community Development Block Grant funds is eligible for is either right underneath us here tonight in our community room, which is because it's a senior facility, or by Meadow Drive. If there's a recent income study, which we think is probably going to happen in the next year or two from the federal government, we may lose that track. So we may only have the town hall community room. It's hard to say what's going to happen there, but there are some other eligible projects. There was some discussion with Erie County on should we go into this. We wouldn't have scored as high if we submitted another project again, because we did have water line repaired on Boston State Road, and we did also have funds provided for the new pavilion at North Boston. So we would have not scored as high or as favorable to do that. So I figured instead of paying for the engineering funds and paying for all this money to kind of have your hat in the ring, and quite frankly, I'm in a project selection committee, so I know how this works. We probably would not have been awarded this year. So anyway, we'll chalk that up to next year. And kind of one of the plans right now, we've as a board, we've kind of had some open discussion, but really nothing in depth. But now that there's a new pavilion, do some paving around there and make and then have that cover to be considered as a walking and ADA accessible path is how it would be phrased, and that would make us eligible for that funding. We do have some estimates from a couple contractors what it would cost, and so it would definitely be something that would potentially be maybe even fully funded, depending how we play our cards and the cost of materials next cycle around. So that's CDBG in a nutshell. But my biggest worry is losing that census tract, because that would be something that would kind of hurt the community. I know Ellie's here tonight. I know she's my bookkeeper. She's my direct appointment, but Ellie always does a great job. And I've said this time and time again, Allison and Ellie, who work for me, I can't do it without them. I'm only one person, but a team is just that, just like the town board here, we all work together. We all get the job done. So, kudos to Ellie. Thank you for everything you do. I know you put a lot of time into that. I remember the early days when we created some of this, and it's actually kind of cool. And I'm and I'm certainly happy to share that, a lot of Ellie's work has been shared with the Association of Towns and other municipalities. I coach and mentor through the Association of Towns mentoring program. And, really, I kind of hope that becomes a model of proper forecast budgeting and other things. It was something that was talked about back in the day. Now it's something that's happening more and more. So it's really nice to see that this is, doing something right and, get everybody on that same path. Last but not least, comp plan. I know Councilman Lukacek talked about this, but surveys were out. If you happen to be a local business in town or you happen to be a agricultural farm in town, please, please, please fill out the survey. We want that feedback. I know you're a business owner, know it's busy, farmer. You're trying to get your fields ready for the winter season. Actually, just had a conversation with John Zittel just the other day. Please put this information back. I'm not going to belabor the fact or hide from the fact that there's talk about wind and solar, and farmers are being offered sizable amounts of money for their land. And when I say sizable, over $10,000 per month. So the numbers are real. This is something that the town board, the planning board, and others are going to be looking at. It's the state of what the New York State scoping plan is. But again, the comprehensive plan is part of this. We need the feedback. We're working with Erie County Environment Planning on this. Again, many hands make light work. This is the purpose of this. And I know there's a lot of people in this room that, help out with a comprehensive plan. But this is something that this is the next 5 to 10 years. And whether we like it or not, I think there's going to be a lot of change and a lot going on in the next 5 to 10 years in New York State. So that's all I have for the comprehensive plan. That's all I have for tonight. So I will make a motion to end the meeting at 8:08 p.m.
Second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Cardicchini,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukacek,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.
It was December, Christmas of 21. She had her surgery. She's doing okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a tough battle. She's a fighter then.
Get to do that down there, please.
You heard from anybody?
Are you talking about your face? Benign, nothing to worry about. 2 days later, my mom got that.